You are here because the outside world rejects you.
I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I...
Bunga.
Cowabunga!
I made a buddy.
Come on, Peter Tingle.
Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What up?
5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and start the pod, Cameo. Yeah, that's my dude, Cameo, over there. I'm Brad Reed.
What's up, Brad? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. We are Nerds to Men. Getting
and
nerdy.
Brad, you know what? It seems like forever ago since we talked. I think it was last year since we talked.
Yep, that's true. Yesterday I was like, yesterday was the last day of the year. We're recording this on the January 1st. And I was like, man, should I call Cameo and do a last second pod? Because that's the last chance we're ever going to get in 2022 to do a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I laid there all lazy and whatever, I was like, nah. We did enough podcasts in 2022. So welcome to the first podcast of 2023.
There we go.
Would you rather do the last podcast of 2022 or the first podcast of 2023?
You're not first, you're last. So first.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
When I was in radio, Cameo, I always kind of dug, and this is going to sound crazy to the people, but they can probably also hear it in my voice. I always dug when I got a little bit of a cold for the radio. Because on the radio, you got the little bit of that,
that raspy, deep.
Yeah.
Like you almost like just woke up.
Yeah, like sexy.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm all like, hey guys, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you today?
Yeah. But now that I've had a cold, which is why you may have missed a show last week. For those of you who are in mourning over that, we apologize. But I get to come back this week sounding all sexy.
But speaking of mourning, I know it was probably, not too shocking, but Barbara Walters passed away last week.
Yeah.
So that's sad. One of the pioneers of I don't know, not
journalism though, broadcast journalism.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
because I used to watch her and Hugh Downs on Friday nights because I'd watch TGIF, like Boy Meets World and Full House, Steve Urkel, and then there was a bunch of shows that would kind of come and go through the lineup. Those were the big ones. But at the end of the night, at 9:00, when everybody else was out partying and doing, cool stuff, I was watching John Stossel and his investigative reports, and Barbara Walters and Hugh Downs doing 2020 on ABC.
Yeah,
so
Daylight 2020, man.
Yeah, so I'm sad, and of course she was on, I believe, The View. I think it was The View. Which
I can't remember.
Lots of people love and hate that show. So that's funny to me. But yeah, that it's going to be sad that she's gone. But yeah, she was in her 90s. Wow. So full life there. I would have
93 when she passed. So
yeah. Though, I was thinking about that the other day, though. Like, I don't want to make it all throughout a whole year and be like, man, I can't wait till 2023 and die at the end of the year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be good. But we live in a world that stuff could happen.
Yeah.
Not to be morbid, but I mean, you could go in your sleep. Not even know.
That's why you got to live every day to the fullest.
Yeah.
That's why you got to do things today and not put them off till tomorrow, such as liking and subscribing on our show.
I love that segue.
Yeah. Live your life to the fullest and subscribe to our podcast.
Click the like button.
Yes.
Hit the notification bell.
Wherever you're at. If you're listening to the pod on one of the many places that host the Nerds to Men, then go ahead and like subscribe and leave us a review. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But
because we will read your comments.
Yes.
So,
and I'll read some comments on the next show. We've got our Facebook is just cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really even mess with Twitter as much anymore, but like our Facebook, we got all of our people. They like to leave comments. I love it. I appreciate everybody. And yeah, we're gonna make this year a banger, as the kids say. Do the kids even say that, or is it like 30-year-olds saying it?
I think it's 30-year-olds are saying it.
Yeah, so that means I'm out on that. You can still say it.
I mean, I can say it, but I don't.
Say it though. You'll feel good. Say it.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. There you go.
It's a banger.
Hey, before we get into Nerd Update, I want to show off, because it's 2023 already, but in 2022, at the very end, we got something that we ordered in 2021.
Right.
Yeah, it's 2023. We're finally showing off something we ordered in 2021. Now, mine's still in the box there.
Take it out of the box and play with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I do.
Look at that. Last Ronin.
Just beautiful.
It is. For those of you listening on the pod, you can join us on YouTube on the Nerd Update segment and check out the Last Ronin. So, Cameo, for those who might not know, tell them, well, don't tell them who the Last Ronin is.
Okay.
Because that's a mystery. But tell them what
it's Master Splinter.
Yeah. The Last Ronin, though, is a comic book.
Yeah. So Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the creators of the awesome Ninja Turtles that are Teenage Mutants, they were, I think there was like I don't know the full story, but I think there was some type of falling out, and they hadn't worked on a comic book in decades. So at the end of 2021, I believe, I can't remember the years, but it was like I think it was 2021, is when the first edition of The Last Ronin came out. So, and Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman teamed up once again, got back in I don't know if you call it a studio. They got back into the studio and put their creation one last time. Or I would say one last time. They might be teaming up once again. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens farther down the road, because I heard there's going to be a prequel to The Last Ronin.
Nice.
Coming up. I don't know when that's going to happen. I hope it happens pretty soon. But if you've read it, you already know that they left it open for something amazing to happen. So yeah, it's an awesome storyline with one of the turtles basically still alive. The other turtles passed away, doing their due diligence against the Foot Clan. And yeah, this last Ninja Turtle is trying to make things right, trying to fix everything. So yeah, make sure you go pick that up. They do have the hard copy out right now. If you don't want the hard copy, well, you can get the single issues. I know Kindle on Amazon has all of them. That's where I bought all of mine, except for the first issue.
That's where I have mine. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
That's where I have mine, Kindle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had to buy the first issue on hand, because, if I ever see Kevin Eastman again or talk to Kevin Eastman again, I want him to sign it. So, yeah.
What do you mean?
But great read.
You mean when you see Kevin Eastman again? Aren't you having him and Cameron Monaghan over for dinner soon?
Oh, yeah. That's in a couple of weeks. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, I know we had talked about this because there's been a few, rumors, whatever, of that there was going to be another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming soon. Well, there definitely is an animated movie. This is an update for the news that we've put out. The producers, this is coming from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Okay, I was going to say if this was the Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah, so it's coming out August 4th of next year. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and it's computer animated superhero film. So, what do you think about that? You look a little disappointed, nonplussed.
I'm going to enjoy it because it's the Ninja Turtles. I'm not going to say it's going to be horrible. I'm not going to say it's going to be bad or anything like that. But I just rewatched Secret of the Ooze.
Uh-huh.
And if, kids that are watching nowadays, this is how big VHS tapes used to be. So, no, I'm joking. But, I really want, and if they can't do like the Jim Henson style puppetry, I don't mind doing the, what's his name? Michael Bay's CG Turtles. I don't mind that. But I want a live action one.
Yeah.
They just did so well in the 90s with it. And I kind of want that back. I kind of want the puppetry back. If they can't do the puppetry, like I said, let's do the CG and give us a live action.
You think with Seth Rogen being in charge, it's going to be kind of more of a grown-up one? But hearing now that it's computer animated, I'm going to say probably not.
I would say that it could possibly be more lean more towards adults.
But not so much that it's probably still aimed towards children, though. Wouldn't you think?
I would hope so, because my kid, well, I say my daughter more than my son, loves the Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved the version that came out in 2012 on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But she also really enjoyed the 90s ones. I haven't shown her Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 because I can't get jiggy with that one. But the first two movies she really enjoyed. But yeah, I'm hoping it is kid friendly enough. I hope it is kind of more dark, almost like what was the Batman movie, Matt Reeves Batman.
Yeah, I like that.
I kind of hope it's like dark, but not too dark.
See, so that's why that's why I would like to see, if they're not going to do one with that, that's fine. Do the Last Ronin though. And you could do an animated version of it, but make it kind of like noir style,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be dope. Real dope.
I don't know about noir because I really don't care for black and white.
It doesn't have to be black and white though. It's just kind of like, it's just a style. Like the Batman was noir style.
Oh, okay. Every time I think of noir, I think black and white. So,
well, classically it would have been, yeah, but now, like I say, a lot of times takes place in a darker environment, but then they use a lot of the lighting and stuff to, the bad guys are like shaded and doing their bad stuff in the dark. It's it's a whole style. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you went to school for that, so I don't know. I just when I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's black and white. I don't want to see black and white. But I will say, the cool movie that I saw in black and white was actually two. It was the Snyder Cut version and the Logan black and white. I really enjoyed Logan in black and white. That was really good.
What was the other one you said you liked?
The Snyder Cut.
Okay, yeah, and apparently I think he was kind of filming that knowing that he was going to do it in black and white. So some of the lighting and stuff was really good for that. I really liked it. Yeah. Well, you want to jump into our nerd update for this week, Cameo?
Let's do it.
All right. This week we got news and rumors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hit it off with what at this time is still just a rumor, but I like it. I like the idea of this. I wanted to talk to you about it. Plus, I was watching all the X-Men movies the other day, starting with First Class. So I was like, oh, okay. Even though Anna Paquin, really, First Class, you didn't see her First Class and on. She wasn't really in any of those, was she? Did she make an appearance in First Class at all? I don't think she did. Did she? What about Days of Future Past?
No. She was in Days of Future Past.
Okay. Because it says on this that she hasn't played Rogue since 2014. So I'm trying to put together the timeline here in my mind, but let's just call it that. But she might be coming back as Rogue in Deadpool 3, which we've already found out that Hugh Jackman's going to return. And the story out there is because people were like, well, what happened? What about Logan? All that,
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it's going to involve time travel and they're going to go back to pre-Logan.
Okay.
But see, that's the thing is like, even if you didn't make that distinction with the Marvel multiverse being a whole thing now for sure, with those movies basically showing you that there was alternate timelines, they stopped what was happening in Days of Future Past right at the last second.
Right.
So there's no need to freak out because this could be just Rogue and any one of Hugh Jackman's Wolverines from a different timeline, which is going to be what it is. So I'm super excited because, man, there's no limit to what they could do here, right?
There really isn't. If they are really taking the pages out of the actual comic books, there is no limits. The only limit is, and even now with the deep fakes and de-aging techniques that they have now, these characters, maybe not physically can be there, but they can be there in technology. So it's kind of cool seeing Anna Paquin reprise her role as Rogue in the next Deadpool movie. With Hugh Jackman coming back as Logan, we can tell that he's getting old. He's looking up in age, and I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to do Old Man Logan or if they're going to do like the Days of Future Past style Logan. I don't know, but like you said, I'm excited too. I'm excited to see Deadpool again. I'm excited to see Hugh Jackman break out the claws because, again, he's the definitive of Logan for me.
He is.
Unless somebody comes out and outdoes him, which I strongly and highly doubt, but we'll see.
I wasn't like a big, huge Hugh Jackman fan going like before he was Wolverine. And so when he was Wolverine, I was just always like, he's too pretty boy. He's not like short and squatty looking and all that. But like every time I watch these movies and the fact that like Anna Paquin didn't make it from the beginning, the 2000s to all the way to the end, but still they come back to Hugh Jackman, Days of Future Past, and he didn't show up in Dark Phoenix though, did he? No, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he did.
He was just in First Class.
He was in Days of Future Past too, though. Remember, because they sent him back.
Oh,
in time.
well, yeah. Well, I meant like the only other movie was First Class.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like the fact that they keep coming back to him and Deadpool, like that's got to be a huge honor for him, especially when we see like the DC universe where a lot of people are like Henry Cavill
coming and going.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's like the best Superman we've had in forever. And now he's gone unceremoniously, right?
Right.
And they're not going to do that to Hugh Jackman. Yeah. They're celebrating him in his place. So would you think some of the older, Anna Paquin, I'm trying to think of who else. There was the supermodel that played Mystique.
Rebecca Romijn?
Yeah, Rebecca Romijn. I don't really know, though. I'm trying to think of the guy.
But she made an appearance in First Class, though.
Did she?
So when Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique decided to seduce Magneto, and she was in the bed, and she was in her, human form, and he was like, "No, I don't want that." So she makes herself a little bit older looking, which was in her blue form as Rebecca Romaine's Mystique.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, go back and watch it. It's real. It's literally like 1 or 2 seconds.
You know, just kind of looking back, because Apocalypse came after. Like, and I'm trying to think, was it Days of Future Past where they showed Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as X-23 and he breaks out and he has like the dope, like where he's fighting out of the hallway? It wasn't Days of Future Past, was it? It was that was First Class, wasn't it?
No, it was
yeah, that was
Apocalypse. It was
Apocalypse. Right, yeah.
Apocalypse, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, because that's
right.
where Sophie Turner's Jean Grey like helps him.
Yeah, she puts her hands on him and gives him a little bit more memory. But that was pretty dope seeing him as X-23. And then Dark Phoenix, I didn't love it when it came out, but that train sequence was maybe one of the best sequences of all the movies.
Oh yeah,
that was dope. If you,
because I feel like that was the best showmanship of all of their powers.
Yes.
We've seen Magneto stop bullets, move a satellite, pick up a whole bridge. That was all cool, but I mean, it was cool to see him to like, smash somebody, tie them up in metal, and like throw them away, crush a whole train car. I mean, it was cool. We did get to see in X2 Nightcrawler's amazing feats, teleporting here and there and all this stuff. But I really feel like the Dark Phoenix showed Nightcrawler's powers, Storm's powers, who else's? Cyclops' powers.
Yeah.
And Beast, I mean, he's just a literal beast. And I think this was probably, the best showmanship of his powers as well.
We really got robbed. We really got robbed by not getting an Evan Peters Quicksilver standalone. Also, the fact that we never got Gambit still kind of irks me as I'm watching these movies.
Yeah. But, I'm kind of glad because I don't know if you remember this, but Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he would make a good Gambit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would have
that.
Still gone to see it, but I don't think we could be like, oh, yeah, he's definitely Gambit. That's Gambit right there.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that somewhat. I think he would have done good. I would have been cool with it. But it would have been one of those real unknowns. And it might have been worked out. But whoever they got to play him, I don't care. I can't believe they went all those movies without Gambit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and then, I would like to see.
We got Gambit in X-Men Origins, but.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. I would like to see
like
Deadpool.
5 minutes.
I'd like to see Deadpool bring back Evan Peters as Quicksilver, especially right now with Evan Peters being so hot. And I'd like to see him. That'd be so
Just
funny.
Take some pictures.
If he got Channing Tatum to like do a cameo as Gambit.
Dude, I was just about to say that. I was like, that would be so amazing.
That would be great.
If Channing Tatum, because Channing Tatum was in Bullet Train, and it was just a real quick cameo, and it seems like that's what he's like doing now.
Yeah, maybe just a smidge longer than the Brad Pitt cameo in the last Deadpool movie, which is one of the greatest cameos of all time.
Right.
Hey, so we're talking about rumors. I got another rumor coming up, but this next story actually is for reals. Although me and you were talking about it before the show and we didn't know why it's a story. But Donald Glover is, remember a lot of people were kind of pushing for him to be Miles Morales at one point. I think he's probably too old for Miles Morales. But
maybe if they did like an older version, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool, like old man Miles.
Maybe not old man, but
it's like old man Miles, but he's only like in his 30s.
Yeah.
But like the younger people, they think he's a boomer now because he's in his 30s.
Right.
But Donald Glover is going to join Sony universe in the Spider-Man movies that they have. He's playing villain Hypno Hustler. And you're a Spider-Man guy, and you're a Donald Glover fan, and you had heard of neither of these things. You've neither heard of
neither of these things.
You've never heard of Hypno Hustler, and then you didn't know this movie was happening.
No, I did not.
So what do you think? Are you kind of like, yay, just cuz? Or are you like, why are they making Hypno Hustler when they should be making Venom versus Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield? And could Hypno
That's
Hustler,
what I'm really thinking.
And could Hypno Hustler, though, be a Andrew Garfield? Like maybe they bring him in as Spider-Man.
I don't know why they're doing these villain stories.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like Donald Glover, when we saw him in Homecoming, he was basically Miles Morales' uncle. And I cannot remember his comic book name.
The Prowler or whatever.
Yeah. He plays the Prowler. Why didn't they just put him as the Prowler?
Yeah.
Rather than, I'm reading this story about Hypno Hustler. They call him an obscure and completely irrelevant Spider-Man villain. Why would you do that?
Maybe Donald Glover, because he's got that comedian in him. Maybe he's kind of thinking the James Gunn Guardian of the Galaxy route, where it's no expectations really for these characters.
I mean, I guess it could, but going on reading this report from Escape, but I think this is an actually, not really copying, but is referencing the Hollywood Reporter. It says Hypno Hustler was born during the disco era as a character who could mass hypnotize audiences with his band in order to subsequently rob them. So maybe they're doing it just because he loves music, he sings, he raps, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. But the script is coming from Eddie Murphy's son, Miles Murphy.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it could be, they're doing a comedic route, and I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is a waste. This is a waste of a waste of time. I'm
with you though. I get that there's like people that do love the obscure characters, and there's lots of characters out there that have got play over and over and over and over, but there's so many more other characters that people would want to see. And like I was going to say, if this was going to springboard, like maybe like Andrew Garfield back into the universe of Spider-Man, that'd be cool. But like, would they really pick a character movie that nobody's ever heard of to bring Andrew? Why would they need to do that? It make much more sense for it to be in a Venom movie.
And it kind of is... I don't know what Sony is doing right now. I don't know how this is all going to play out in the grand scheme of things. But we saw that Morbius, one of, a well-known villain, anti-hero, whatever you want to call him, and how badly that movie did 2 times being released in the theater. Why would you bank on making a movie with like what this, story said, an obscure and an irrelevant comic, villain, when, I'm picking up the Spider-Man comics again now, and which I will be doing some YouTube shorts on certain things. So make sure you be looking out for that as well. I like I said, I've never heard of this dude. Never. The only people that I've really known Spider-Man to fight are basically the Sinister Six, which has different iterations, but basically all the main ones that we know and have seen on the big screen. There's some where we're getting some movie play in the Spider-Verse movie. And it's just so weird to me. We're wasting time and money on characters that don't matter.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that. Morbius matters, but I don't know where they could have gone or what they could have done to make that movie better. I don't know if it was Jared Leto. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, if we have a well-known villain having its own movie turn out very wrong, why do an obscure, irrelevant villain movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you banking on because it's Donald Glover that we're going to go see it? And don't get me wrong, I am going to go see it. And if I'm completely wrong, I will say, oh man, this movie is great. I'm going to try to find more things about Hypno Hustler. But as of right now, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, we got one more story here in the nerd update. And this is a big one. This is a huge one. This one
is huge.
Now, I don't think it's 100% confirmed, but I've read that it's come from some people that they usually know what they're talking about. And that's us. No.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.
I can't wait till we get there.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is said to be returning as Iron Man. Now, we talked about Hugh Jackman earlier. Robert Downey Jr., I mean, I don't know if anybody could replace him as Iron Man, really. He just fit Iron Man so good. Mm-hmm. And I kind of never thought that he would be gone forever anyway. Did you?
No. And honestly, I think Chris Evans is going to be coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I mean, because we have an old man Captain America in the comics now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility for him to come back. I even read a story that Chris Evans, would come back, if given the chance. But Robert Downey Jr., yeah. And I don't know if this is how they were planning everything out, but when Robert Downey Jr. came on the scene as Tony Stark, it seemed like everything else was molded to be around Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, like from the cartoons that are out, the new comic books. But again, the comic books that I read about Iron Man when he's, doing stuff with the Avengers or he teams up with Spider-Man in the Spider-Man comics that I'm reading, all I can think of is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying, that's who they were molding him at, after, because I heard that Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury was supposed to be why they changed him to a black Nick Fury is because they wanted Samuel L. Jackson to be Nick Fury in the movies.
Right.
Now, I don't know how true that is, but I kind of feel that's how I am with Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark.
I agree. The rumors are that he's coming back for Secret Wars and then possibly going to cameo in Armored Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a few things too that like they're scaling down, I guess, how much more they're going to they're not going to just flood us with TV shows and movies going forward, because people kind of said, I just would rather you give us less, but give us more quality.
Mm-hmm.
We can deal with less quantity as long as it's more quality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me a little bit. Do you know what Secret Wars is kind of all about? Like in the comics, like maybe who the villain is or what that's all about?
Well, it's looking like Secret Wars might be, what's his name?
Kang?
Yeah, Kang. Jonathan Majors, Kang. Basically, there's like different iterations. There's been comic books about it where Doctor Doom was basically the main antagonist, but it was something that caused like a whole world all the worlds to collide. Everything was meshed up. That's how Old Man Logan's first original story was supposed to be like a one-off, but he came back and he joined the X-Men with the younger Wolverine. So it's basically all these universes basically collapsing on itself. And in the comics, it was, like I said, Dr. Doom was the main antagonist. And now we see that, it's going to be Kang the Conqueror, which kind of almost set up everything in the first Loki season. So, or the first season of Loki, let me say that. So I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to go, but yeah, it's like a huge ordeal that heroes from across the world and villains are trying to team up to make sure that their universes don't collapse, because villains still want to be villains in their world, and heroes still, want to save worlds, if not, all the worlds.
So like, because in Loki, Kang was trying to keep all that from happening. That's why he didn't, that. So what happens going forward? Like, is he just like, well, y'all messed it up so bad that screw it, I'm just going to ruin you. But it's interesting because, like, so basically Kang is like our Thanos, right? Where all these movies were kind of swirling around, and then, it culminated in Endgame. So Secret Wars is going to be like our Endgame.
Basically, yeah.
Because I know Kang is going to be playing more in the Ant-Man movie coming up. So he'll be around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm down for it.
And I kind of agree with the sentiment of give us quality more than quantity. I feel like right now, we as comic book fans, let me start over. People like to complain.
Yeah.
The less you give them, the less they complain. The more you give them, the more things they're going to complain. Oh, well, I feel like they're just trying to, X out all the male characters and bring on women characters. And, I can see why some people might say that, because we have a She-Hulk. We have Kate Bishop as the new Hawkeye, possibly. I don't know if Jeremy Renner's going to be coming back or whatever. We have Riri Williams as Ironheart, even though we still have Don Cheadle's Rhodey's War Machine. I can see, why people are getting that way. So, yes, give us less, so I can stop listening to people complain every single day about something. Loki, give us that. Give us another season of She-Hulk. I'm okay without Hawkeye. And I can't remember the other ones that came out. Oh, Moon Knight. I'll love some Moon Knight. But yeah, just give us less so I don't have to hear anybody else complain about it. I enjoyed almost everything, even though I didn't really care for some of the stuff. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God. Because I'm not like that.
Here's another one to end everything. Here's another Deadpool that they could bring back. Give me a Terrence Howard cameo coming back as War Machine, man. Wouldn't that be dope?
I wouldn't mind that.
I think that'd be funny.
A different universe? Oh,
yeah, yeah. He's like, I didn't go nowhere, man.
I've been here all day, man.
That's funny. That's our nerd update for this week.